So good morning. Hi everyone, it's Barb Wild, Good Wine Gal here in my closet in White Rock, having a morning wine chat with the COO and Director of Viticulture and Winemaking at Noble Ridge Winery in Okanagan Falls. And don't let his screen's filter deceive you. It is winter. So
It
hi
is
Benoit, how
winter,
are
yes.
you? Yeah, tell
I'm
us
doing
how
great,
you're
thank you.
doing.
I'm doing really good, yes, and enjoying yeah, a nice winter. It's not as green as it looks, but definitely we're having a good season so far.
That is totally deceiving, but I can't wait for spring. And it feels like spring's on its way. Like, honestly, 16 degrees here at the coast yesterday or the day before, sitting out in the sun, getting a suntan. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, it seems that every year, it brings us something different. And this year, in the Okanagan Valley here, it's been very dry and very warm. So we still don't have snow on the ground. And temperature this week has been, yeah, in between 5 and 10 degrees every day. So it's very strange.
Yeah, we
But
should talk a little bit just about historically over the last 5 years. It's been a bit of everything, hasn't it?
yeah, it's been extreme, I would say. As probably everybody lived it in BC, but we've had, since 2021, the extreme heat, the heat dome, the 45 degrees where the vines were scorching, down to, the cold snaps in the winter where we got to minus 27 here with lots of vine damage. So it's been all over the place. We had floods, forest fires, everything, everything in the
Yeah.
last 5 years. So it's been a wild ride. Yeah.
How does that make your job as the director of viticulture to ensure, a good harvest? What are what are you doing?
Well, I don't know. It's hard on planning, and it's a lot more work because definitely in the vineyard we have to do more to mitigate those extremes. So for us, it just increase our workload and make things difficult to plan on vineyard work, but production too.
Yeah.
We can't rely on just going on a regular production pattern. We need to think ahead quite a bit and think about production quite a bit to make
Yeah.
sure we don't run out of wine or so on and so
Well,
on.
and there, it sounds like there are things you can plan for, and then like harvest 2025. How did you plan for that?
Well, I was planning on actually, I got pretty lucky with my vineyard because, yeah, 2024, I had zero grapes. I had total damage on the top of my vine, so 100% bud damage, and the trunks were splitting. But fortunately enough, my vines are pretty old, so the root system was
Mm.
intact, so the vine overall survived. I had less than 1% loss. So I was able to retrain my vines, cut off the old part that was damaged, and harvest 2025 was much better than my expectation. After a year of not producing, the vines had so much energy, so it put out so many grapes and big, big berries and big clusters. So I was expecting a little bit, I'm gonna get maybe 60% of my crop. Uh, and then as the season was going, it's like, oh, it's looking good. So maybe 80%. And then by the end of it, at the end of veraison and harvest, we had 120% of our regular crop. So the vine just exploded, and it was a really good season too. It was kind of a long, mm, overall warm, but not extremely warm. So it was really good for quality. So we had
Yeah,
both quantity and quality. So 2025 was actually amazing for once,
yeah.
you know?
Well, and I did hear, honestly, I did hear that the planning for many, many wineries was kind of in your zone of, okay, maybe we'll get 60%. Oh, look, it's looking better. Maybe we'll get 80%. And then, oh my God, we got to. So people were looking for tanks, people were looking for space, people were looking for crash, people were selling, like it was unexpected,
Yeah,
really.
I had to make some phone calls, and I fortunately I have really good neighbors, so I did get some help from some neighboring wineries and in borrowing tanks and fermenters to yeah to be able to ferment everything because yeah, it was much above expectation.
Yeah.
But yeah, we help each other around here, so it's good.
Yeah, well, I think there's some things we could all learn about community from the wine
Yeah,
industry, and that your neighbors are your friends and everybody
yeah.
cheers, and nobody, like, people aren't cutting your clippings and stealing them in the night, or, doing
Yeah.
some. strange
Yeah,
things go
yeah,
on in other parts of the world I
yeah.
read about.
You know what? The wine industry, it's a pretty crazy industry to be in. So we're all in the same boat, so we understand each other. So yeah, I mean, help is there. Like if we can help, we will help, and
Yeah.
we're we live it quite intensely. So yeah, there's lots of friendship around.
Well, I think we live and die together. You know, we
Yeah,
rise and we fall. Hopefully, collectively, making good wine elevates the conversation, brings people to our region, you know, fills up our wine tasting rooms and helps us sell more wine. I think that's the
yeah,
overall goal for everyone. So,
yeah.
yeah. Any thoughts? Any other additional thoughts you want to add before we like start talking about the special bottle I have?
Yeah, well, what's going on is actually people that know us, we're gonna be releasing new wines coming up and a fresh new label. So if you know our wines a little bit, our Noble series, when we release the 2025 wines in April, we're gonna have a fresh new label on it. So bright and cherry, going away from the
Anything you
dark
can
label.
show us? Anything you can show us?
I know the labels are not printed yet. I'm going to be bottling towards the end of February. And then after Bottle Shock, we decided to release the ones, yeah, April 1st,
Right.
around April 1st, just so that the wines had time to settle a little bit and then they're going to be ready to go. So
Well,
soon, very soon.
I think I'm going to be back in the Okanagan last couple of weeks of March, so I will come and see if I can get a sneak peek because that would be
Yeah,
super fun.
sounds good.
First person to like see the labels and share them. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and you're well, and your crew has expanded. You have a new assistant winemaker, I think, from last year, from the fall. Can't remember
Yeah.
when she came on board, and you have to
Yeah,
remind me.
she came on board in August, just on time for harvest. Her name is Libby Nixon, and she's from
Right,
Australia and studied
right,
winemaking out there. And then
right.
she had been to Canada for quite a few years, actually, working in Okanagan Falls here. And then she
Okay.
joined me in August, and she will transition into the winemaking role. So
Wow.
surely she is very talented, very smart, and very hardworking, and I'm really lucky to have her. We
That's
had
wonderful.
quite the harvest together. I was a bit short-staffed because I didn't plan to have that much grapes, that many grapes. So
You're like,
we
hey, this is
took on
how
the
I
work, and
plan.
it was good. It was good.
She's like, I
She's
think you
very
need help.
yeah yeah. Next year we'll plan slightly differently. We'll plan for a big
Yeah.
crop. So
Hey, because I often like to I like to share women in wine stories, so we'll have to have her
Mhm.
on. But also sustainability. Anything changing there for you with regards to trellising, soil, the new plant, any new plantings? You know, like things that you're trying to see if this kind of shifts or protects the
yeah.
vines.
What I've done, I think in the last few years, so I've been working on, my sustainability program in the vineyard to start with, and then across the whole business with the biosphere certification.
Yeah.
But in terms of the vineyard, what I've done this year in 2025, I've added soil moisture probes in my vineyard in three different zones because my soil is slightly different from, block to block.
Block to
So,
block.
so I installed some probes just to give me a better understanding of the moisture behavior in my soil because I've been relying on experience, on visual cues in the vineyard, and I know my vineyard really well, but I want to do better, and scientific data helps me make better decisions. So when I can look at the patterns of soil moisture and depletion, I have some threshold where the vines will be stressed and the vines will be happy, and when I water too much, and so I can really tailor my irrigation to just what the vine needs and no more, no less. So it allows me to save water and just make sure that my vines are healthy and not stressed out in the big heat in the summertime. So
I
that's what I've
think
been doing. And my next step is gonna be to actually switching my undercrop management. So instead of I used to, have a cover crop and then go with a grape and kind of manage with the cultivation under my vines. But now I'm gonna switch to under vine mowing. So keeping the cover crop there, just cutting it when it's too long, and not disturbing the soil. Because when you disturb the soil, you disturb the microbiology and the microbes that lives in there, and it's not necessarily the best for your soil health. So I want to be a practice under my vines
Wow, no till. Wow.
just to improve yeah my soil quality and soil health.
Have you heard of the Porto Protocol? It's an organization that out of Portugal, but it's kind of a global organization. They actually talk a lot about water, packaging, this regenerative farming. Like there's a bunch of
Yeah,
links. Anyway, there's some really good resources there. I
yeah,
mean, I think everyone is trying to address drought conditions because it's a reality, water, and then of course water reuse and water
yeah,
drainage and like there's even just within water, there's a huge checklist of things
yeah.
that you have to attend to and consider.
Yeah, last month I attended the Tasting Climate Change conference in Montreal
Oh,
with Michelle Bouffard, and she invited speakers from all around the world, um, talking about climate change and vineyard practices. And so I had a really good view of what's happening in the world
yes.
and kind of the technique that they use to mitigate climate change. Talking about drought, talking about really heat extremes. So it was very good to see where the world stands a little bit and where we will be heading. Some of the region of the world already have, a lot more advanced in drought and
Yeah,
heat
yeah.
events. So I know that it's coming more and more to BC. So it's very important to start acting now in making your vineyard better to be able to sustain those extremes.
Retain moisture, find
Yeah,
ways to keep the soil health at a certain level, right?
yeah,
But kudos to you because getting outside of your zone, taking time away isn't an easy thing, I'm sure. But to actually go and do that, to be there, to meet all these people, and then to kind of hear, like, good for you. Like, that will be a game changer. And I think she's done amazing things to bring people together to have these
yeah.
conversations. I just am
No,
not going. I'm not going to Montreal when it's like January.
yeah, no, it was a bit of a shock. Like since like we talked at the beginning, where yeah, it's warm in the valley here, and going to Montreal, it was windy, snowy, and yeah, winter. But I'm from there, so well, I was used to it. I've become
I'm
very
not
soft
used to
with
it
time, but
anymore.
I've experienced some extreme colds in my life, so it was okay. But it reminded me that how wonderful the Okanagan Valley is. So
Hey, listen, scenic, beautiful. The winds are never too strong in my mind.
yeah,
It's never really been, from my experience, too cold. Like, back east, I was in Manitoba. It was minus 53. I learned to cross country ski in Quebec City. It was minus 50 something. And I was like, I was a BC left coaster. I didn't know what I was supposed to
yeah.
wear. Like I had wool pants on.
Yeah, when it's minus 50, you don't go outside. You stay inside, crack open a bottle of port, and then stay warm.
I thought they were clearly crazy, and
Yeah,
I still believe they all are. But I loved so many parts of it. So yeah, you're lucky to be from there, and you're lucky to be here, and we're lucky to be in Canada. For gosh sakes, like
yeah,
honestly,
it's a good place to
yeah,
be.
yeah. Anyway, cheers to that, and cheers to you.
Yeah,
Okay, so we have 2019, the one. Is Noble Ridge gonna start producing more bubbles and less red wine, or what's the plan going forward? I'm gonna open this, by the way.
yeah, yeah. Plan is actually we're pretty steady in our sparkling production.
Okay.
We've increased our number of offerings. So right now we do uh, make the one we're going to be drinking right now, which is our main production. So this vintage we did 450 cases. We also, with a similar blend, do the Grand Reserve, which is extended time on lees.
Yeah.
And then we also produce the pink one, which is 100% Pinot Noir, and the
So
Blanc de
good.
Blanc, which is
See,
yeah,
they're all so good. I love the pink one. I love the pink
yeah,
one. Like, I think it was also, I don't remember if it was a little bit less or about the same price, but I remember thinking like, this isn't one you have to like, chat about, hang on to. This is one you pop open, you sit outside and you just sip. It
yeah.
was very, flavorful, like a nice fruity, like red berry nose, which has nice acidity. And anyway, I
Yeah.
just liked it so much. Yeah. But let's sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay. Yeah, all our wines. I'm gonna have a little sip of wine to join you.
Your filter's going to make your bottle look goofy, but anyway.
It's okay.
Woo! Did you hear that? Ah, you beat me to it. All right. Oh, I swear I could live in a bubble house. So if you guys
Yeah.
decide to create a bubble house, like I'll just rent the room upstairs and then I'll just be there all the time.
And just hang out in the winery with me. That's where I start all the wine aging on the
Yeah,
lees.
I'll be your official
We have
taster.
we have the wall of sparkling in the new building. So
Oh, so I wasn't so good at pouring it. Look at all the did
cheers.
anybody say I was a sommelier? No, she's a terrible sommelier. Mm.
Yeah, classic
So what is
aromas.
so cheers. Let's
Cheers.
do the toast to you. Cheers. Mm. Mm. It
So
has
what I
that.
love about Okanagan Falls is really the region where we are, the sub-appellation. It's really one of the best places to grow Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, which is the components of this sparkling. We're kind of just past McIntyre Bluff, so a little bit north of Oliver. So we don't have as much heat as they do in Oliver and Osoyoos. It's a little bit cooler, which is perfect to keep the natural acidity and flavors for those grape varieties. So that's why I can create really, really good sparkling wine very consistently every year. And for me, the key is really to understand my vineyard. So when I started here 15 years ago, actually I was harvesting different blocks for the sparkling, but I realized with time that I needed to switch a little bit and go with the grapes. So what I like to do is really harvest the grapes that are a little bit more vigorous, so bigger berries,
Yeah.
because it gives me a cleaner juice, so there's less skin contact when I press. I do whole cluster pressing, but there's a bit less skin contact, so a bit very minimal extraction of phenolics. So it gives me a very, very crisp juice, and that's really key for
Yeah.
sparkling wine because the sparkling wine is so delicate that you need to have cleanest
Lots of
juice as possible. And then after that, it's just gentle winemaking and then aging. So this one has been aged uh, in the bottle for the second fermentation for 67 months. And it's really the patience of waiting until your wine develops. And every vintage is slightly different. So I don't have a cookie cutter recipe on how long it takes. It just, you have to taste. And then when the wine is right, when it evolved, you know, the
it
right
also
qualities, then we do the disgorging. Then it's ready for release. So
it shows your patience.
it's a work of love and patience, and that's why I have many vintages waiting in the winery, just aging,
Well,
and then
19 is now 6, 7, going to be 7 years this year, I guess.
yeah, from the time that we
So
harvested, yeah.
when you say 2019, so all estate fruit, all harvested the same year, are those the kind of the laws that apply in this in BC, or do we have laws?
Yeah. So the age on the bottle, so the vintage, a mark on the bottle, 2019 is the date, the year that the grapes were harvested.
Mhm.
So sometimes in the sparkling, they will also write down the date of disgorging.
Yeah,
And then how long it has been disgorged. So you can calculate how long your wine has been aged in the bottle.
yeah.
But for me, I just write down the vintage, which I make also vintage sparkling wine. I don't make non-vintage, which is a blend of many years. So for me, every vintage kind of tells a story. It makes a very unique wine, and my goal is not to just make one consistent product all the time because I find it more boring, but it's really make the best wine I can every year, and that
Oh
wine will
no,
tell the story.
you know what that means? That means we're going to have to try them all in a row. We're going to have to do a vertical.
A vertical sparkling. Oh yeah, now you're talking. Next time you come to the winery, I'll pull out a few bottles.
We'll do that. We'll record it. That will be
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, because I would love to hear your thoughts about comparatively, this to, because I've tried some of the others now, but I think I had a 18 and a 17 before Christmas, and they were beautiful. Like seriously, like this one has a richness to it that I think is noticeable, and it has this very dry, sort of uh, powdery profile of that brioche, the croissant crust, not really a bread or a biscuit. And then there's this like delicate apple, but there's fruit, like berry fruit in it. It's quite interwoven with it's not that like I would say, oh, this is mostly Chardonnay. Like I would not guess that. Although the apple lime zesty notes kind of are dominant. I
Mhm.
did notice on the back it said 77% Chardonnay
Yeah.
and whatever, 23% Pinot Noir. I hope that equals 100%.
If I did my math right, yes.
Don't ask me to do that on a sheet.
But yeah, the interesting of the blend and the flavors you describe is primarily that like Chardonnay and Pinot Noir actually they're gonna deliver very different profile in sparkling wines, and you really taste it in my single varietal. So the pink one that is 100% Pinot Noir and the Blanc de Blanc in Chardonnay, very very different. So
Yeah,
definitely the Chardonnay brings that green apple, citrusy notes,
yeah,
the freshness and it's a bit lean and
yeah,
bright. And the
yeah,
Pinot Noir is totally different. Pinot Noir is a little bit rounder and more round in mouthfeel. And
much.
the notes on it, it's a bit more when it's young, it's very more like strawberry
Yeah.
aromas and flavor, and then it develop into more complex aromas. But it's I would say a heavier feeling to the wine.
Mhm.
But when you blend them, that's where you get the nice layer of complexion, and
Mhm.
that's why we tried. To age it just at the right amount. So we taste it every 4 months to really see how it evolves. And then when we get the nice balance of, okay, there's a bit less fruit, but more of that maybe biscuity notes, bready notes or yeasty aromas, brioche, croissant. When you find a nice balance between still the freshness of the fruit, but the aging
Yeah.
characteristic is where we disgorge it.
Yeah, you're in tertiary for sure. I think the fruit notes aren't as precise, but there's this other quality to it. So
Yeah,
it's really, really lovely.
yeah,
And I hope as BC consumers, we're starting to develop a palate for this kind of bubble that is kind of dry. It isn't kind of, it is dry, it's crisp. Oysters would be great.
yeah,
Uh, um, there's a place here at the beach called Uli's. They do oyster Rockefeller. Like this would be perfect.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough. I'm hungry.
No, overall in BC, I think the quality of sparklings has really
Mm,
raised in the last 5 years. I think it's not been too long that many wineries are making sparkling. I think there's a few like big houses like my neighbors here, Blue Mountain. They've done it from the beginning, and we started in 2009. But more and more wineries are making bubbles and quality bubbles too. So I've had a few sparkling tastings recently, and I'm happy with where we stand in quality overall, and I'm really happy
well,
with where I stand in with my wines.
right, right. Well, Catherine McKechnie, she's like such a huge fan. You even have a bottle named for her,
Yeah,
and she is the bubble queen, not only of the
yeah,
Okanagan, but maybe of Canada. And she
yeah,
does do the judging for what is it, the Global Master Bubble Championships or
yeah.
some such. I don't have that in my, but anyway.
The UK, yeah, and the one great thing about I think BC is also like the price point. Like if you take my wine and compare
Oh,
it to the champagne
oh,
in a blind tasting. Like my wine will retail for this one, $35, tasting room price. Uh, Compare that to a champagne, same quality, you're gonna pay $120 for a champagne, and my one might be even better. So
oh,
quality wise, we do extremely well, and that's a testament of like the growing region here. Like we can produce exceptional wines
yeah.
and compete with
Well,
the world.
I think I was doing the BC Wine Tasting Challenge in Kelowna,
Okay.
and we did champagne. And perhaps what we need to think about is maybe we do something like that at your winery, and we invite people who love your, and do the whole like, okay, we're going to bury champagne in here and we're going to bury, like,
Yeah.
can you identify and which one wins? Because like, honestly, I think you're right. The price point, do we know how to charge the right amount for our wine, or are we just avoiding the taxes that are coming along with French products? But like even the cheapest bottle of good champagne is like
Mhm.
$75, and that's a Taittinger, reserve. But in general, if you have something with a vintage on it, you're 150 Canadian dollars before tax,
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so all that to say, plus your treatment of the vineyards and the soil and your approach to the biosphere. And, there's a lot of value add that maybe we'll be able to taste comparatively, which I think would be super cool, you know.
Yeah.
And aren't we looking for a place? Like, where am I? Where am I? Oh, and I hope that wherever I am tasting, it's that kind of becomes a signature that we could say, oh, this is definitely from, Okanagan Falls or BC
Yeah.
or whatever. I mean, like just to get to BC would be great.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I learned from the BC Wine Tasting Challenge was that take away the label and people just have to judge the wine in the glass.
Yeah.
And once they do that, and you have these huge gaps in pricing, as you mentioned, with whether it's Champagne or, Northern Rhone Syrah or Bordeaux blend or some such thing. Even the California ones, they just performed poorly. So by that, I mean, we discovered that BC wine usually isn't understood. If you ask the crowd which was the best wine and where was it from, they would be like, oh, this is the best wine. Most people can identify it, but they would not assume it was from British Columbia, which I love because that's the aha moment. Like, okay, go shopping now. you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's nice to see, yeah, where the industry is going because yeah, I do believe, like you said, like we can compete with the world, no problem. We have the conditions, we have the knowledge and the will to create spectacular wines, and
Yeah.
it's just we're still, young industry,
We're
we're still small,
babies.
so we cannot, export so much, so the world might not know, but
Yeah.
we're here, small and mighty, and
Yeah.
doing really good wines.
Yeah. Well, and thanks to you. I mean, you've been there since I've been in the business. And when I say business, it's like monkey business. Studying and
Yeah.
being a voyeur. I don't work hard in the vineyard. I don't prune. I don't know anything. I mean, I probably should be an intern and then I'd be exhausted and maybe I'd lose 20 pounds just because like all you ever do is like you're on your feet and you're out there. But there's a lot of unacknowledged work in the vineyard and a lot of work. I mean, most people think, you're a winemaker, so really you sleep from end of November until, maybe April, which isn't true, right?
Yeah, no, the cycle is pretty busy all year round when you do both managing a vineyard and a winery.
Mhm.
And this is what I like about it because it always changes and you're always busy and it's always a challenge. It's never the same 2 years. So you
Yeah.
always try to adapt, I'll try to tweak your thing, I'll try to improve your
Mhm.
practices in the vineyard and your winemaking to the season.
Yeah.
So it's always challenging and it's always fun.
Well, let's just summarize like Noble Ridge Estate Winery is located just south of Okanagan Falls. The winery has been there since what, 2006?
Well, the Jim and Leslie, the owners, they bought the land in 2001, and when they bought the land, there was 3 acres planted, uh, and then after that, they planted every year. They planted a little bit more acreage to grow the vineyard, and then 2006, they bought just across the road a little vineyard here with where the winery is right now. So currently, we manage like 25 acres here. And it's a mix of whites and reds. So we do grow Chardonnay, Pinot Gris, a little bit of Riesling. And then for reds, we do Pinot Noir, Merlot, Cab Sauv, Cab Franc, and a little bit of Malbec.
It's amazing, 25 acres. And what I remember is the undulating nature of your environment,
Yeah,
but south exposure for a lot of it, like
yeah,
where the winery sits. One of the most beautiful views in the
yeah. Which is
Okanagan.
Just like our topography is really unique in the world actually because it was made with the glaciers when back in the days where the valley was covered with glaciers and then they were made their way south and they got stuck on McIntyre Bluff and then they started digging big holes in the ground and grinding the rock. So our topography is really, yeah, we have got some big south-facing slopes and north-facing slopes
Yeah.
and my vineyard is planted really to take advantage of that. So all my reds are facing south where they get more sun exposures.
Yeah.
All the Chardonnay Pinot Gris is facing north, which is a bit cooler, so retain more acidity, more aromas.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, because of my land, I can really produce like kind of the sparkling wines, champagne style wines. I can produce Burgundies, I can produce Bordeaux's, and good quality of it within my vineyard. If
Mm.
my vineyard was flat, I would have probably to choose, okay, what variety goes better here. But because
Mm.
of my slopes, I can plant Cab Sauv and ripen it really well. And then I got Chardonnay on the other side facing north, which is cool. I can do delicious sparkling wines.
And the reason I met you is we came to see your trellising. Geneva
Yeah.
double curtain, or was it Scott Henry? I can't remember.
But both, I have both so side by side in the vineyard. So all my reds
Anybody
on
needs to
GDC, the
learn
whites
this.
on yeah, Scott Henry. And yeah, and that's one of the reasons too that I can produce better quality because those three systems, it just helps me actually reduce a little bit the crop load on each vine because of the density, but it also produces really good quality grapes. So it's a bit more work to do in the vineyard. I spend more time, more money in the vineyard, but it pays off by I'm able to grow better quality grapes, which is, translates into better quality wines.
Well, they say wine is made in the vineyard.
Yeah,
So
and
all the
it's
work you
true.
do is paying off. About how
Yeah.
many cases a year are you producing, would you say? Like what's the
On average, we're at about the 7 to 8 thousand cases right now, and then we're gonna try to grow to about 10,000 cases, and that's gonna be
Yay.
the sweet spot where
Yeah.
we're gonna just end.
That's when you're gonna have your feet on your desk.
Yeah, maybe one day, but no, it's
Headed
always
towards
busy.
Benoit.
It's always busy, so.
Yeah. Well, I asked all the questions? Have we chatted about everything? Is there any other mention of anything?
No, I think maybe in the near future, what you can look forward, yeah, our next, 2025 vintage is coming out in April, and then after that, I think we might release more sparkling, the 2022, the pink one, and then the Blanc de Blanc,
Yum.
sometime this year. So we're actually tasting the wine in an hour
Oh,
to see where they're at in their evolution. Last time we tried just before Christmas, they were not ready, so we're trying now. If
yeah.
they're ready, I might schedule discording soon. If not, we're gonna wait till summertime. Try
Yeah.
them again in the summertime, see the
See
evolution.
what's going on.
So yeah, something might happen there.
I love that.
But
So the
otherwise, yeah,
March the 31st is the Winery Wine Insights Conference in Penticton.
yeah,
I don't know how many people go, but there was like the last time I was there must have been like, I don't know, 250 people.
yeah.
But I know that that might be kind of fun to think about too. And then keep me posted on the launches because if I'm there, I will be there too. I will come
Yeah,
and see you. It'll be so much fun.
yeah. I'll make
Anyway,
sure I send you some wines to review. So
thank you.
yeah,
All right, so don't go anywhere. I'm going to stop the recording. But Benoit, as always, thank you so much. Morning Bubbles makes me very happy. And I know there's a bunch of people waiting for, I never, so my new thing is I just don't drink. I spit, I taste. I've been drinking this morning, so I might need a nap. But anyway, anyway, thanks so much. All the
thank
best.
you.
Keep things rocking and rolling at Noble Ridge. And I look forward to seeing you in March.
Yeah, it's great. It was very nice talking to you, and yeah, we'll see each other very soon.